and the couple put up, the audio. We eventually got to hear it, and they were just talking about, how disgusting Jones had behaved, and which I mean is clearly obvious with all the videos there. And then he goes on his own show and he lies about it. I mean, Israel didn't do 9/11; 19 Arabs did.
That was honestly in American English we have this phrase called "jumping the shark." He jumped the shark right there. It means basically there was a turning point in his popularity. It's only going to go only downhill from here.
He's going to go downhill, Joe, in the movements. But he's mainstream. For the 5,000 he loses today, he get 50,000 mainstream knuckleheads. Drinking Kool-Aid and eating McDonald's.
Funny you should mention that again, because every time he exposes himself, what does he do? He goes on a run on all the different radio shows. He was on Rivero. He was on TalkSport, which is based in the UK.
UK, baby, yeah.
He was on, I'm trying to remember, I heard him on a bunch of different shows, all at right after...
the New World Order, the New World Order and stuff.
Yeah, because basically his reputation has been so severely damaged this time within the conspiracy community. He's trying to get new brainwash victims. I wish you to listen to Alex Jones, because this Sunday he had, from what I heard, at least 3 different anti-Zionists called into his show. I don't know if they're from TIU. I didn't recognize their voices. And they were just harping on Alex Jones at least 3 different times. He went crazy. He started talking about neo-Nazis again, anti-Semite. He actually used the word anti-Semites. Can you believe it?
When I was posting on the Pirate Bay, there's a couple of Jewish guys over there used to keep calling me a Nazi. Now, you've known me for a while.
Yeah.
People on ConCen have known me, for 5 years. I've never posted one pro, I love Hitler or we need National Socialism, both knuckleheads, controlled opposition. I don't, these are just comments that are put out there. Sticks and stones. I don't take any, you're this, you're an anti this and anti that. Just names. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And that's basically it. We have one going on at the moment on our forums, on the Info Underground, about explaining to Daryl and to myself about Ron Paul. I don't really know what to say in the thread. Was 9/11 an inside job? It's a simple question. He could have, waited. Hold on, I have 2 minutes. I have 2 minutes to speak. He could have went and not answered the question, maybe. Instead of saying yes, it was a job done by Israel, Mossad, all over dancing Israelis and the moving company and all of this, and the proof is there. You can read that on. Just type into Google who Israel did 9/11, and you'll come across the answer fairly quickly. But this guy said no, I don't believe. He believes 19 Arabs. So. I'm not Mike Rivero. I'm not anyone. I cannot let him pass on that. It's tough. But Joe, you've heard me for a couple of years. I've never been a Ron Paul supporter. I'm always very suspicious of this guy. But he was asked a direct question, and he could have hummed and hawed and not answered the question.
Ognir, can I please?
This and that. The answer was yes.
Can I please remind the audience about?
I do not believe in the official story, and people are giving him he's neutral. He's 9/11 neutral. You can't be neutral on 9/11. This is the big baby that woke up millions and tens and hundreds of millions of us around the planet onto what's going on. It also beefed up the German debt cults overall, total control of the world, and getting them poor Jews to print all this money and stuff. The German debt cult, but
Ognir, can I please remind the audience when this occurred? This occurred when during the Freemason Ron Paul's presidential bid. He went on the Glenn Beck show where he denounced 9/11 in a very disgusting way. And funny you should mention that, Ognir. Do you another act of COINTELPRO by Alex Jones? Medina, a candidate for the governorship of Texas, did almost the exact same thing on neocon radio show that Ron Paul did on Beck, and Alex Jones basically destroyed her election.
Well, Joe, I need to put in a correct Jew here. I'm not talking about Glenn Beck. He's a moron, on these knuckleheads. I'm talking about the presidential debate.
Yes.
Carl Cameron from Fox News eventually got down to Ron Paul and asked him about, was 9/11 an inside job? Did he believe what the 9/11 truthers believed? That the 9/11 truthers are, say a lot of groups, a lot of different groups have a lot of different opinions on, what happened on 9/11. But we all will basically accept that the government, the official government version, is nonsense, and that's the basic concept of the 9/11 truth movements. Because there were a lot of movements in the 9/11 truth movement. Is the official story doesn't work for us. Now, some people will say it was the Jews and Israel. I tend to, agree. Some people will say it's aliens. Some people will say it's, it's whatever.
The
Pope. The Vatican order, and then they'll argue about a lot of points. But the basic thing of a 9/11 truther, whatever group you come from, is the government official version is nonsense. And then, then we split out into why.
Ognir, there's a question about 9/11 I've always wanted to ask you, and thank you for reminding me. What's your opinion of Dr. Stephen Jones? Do you believe his thermite-only theory? I personally do, actually. I don't believe any of that Dr. Deagle mini nukes or...
The Jews got him removed from his teaching position. He's on early retirement. I've seen quite a few videos. I think the guy is fairly genuine. I have to be honest. I know to say Mormons and all this, I don't pay too much attention to the religious aspect of it. If it's Talmud, it's slightly different. I haven't seen any of his research. It's not like ClimateGate where they're fudging all the numbers. I think this guy was able to produce, scientific data that has been copied and has been able to, or not copied, but people have been, able to do the same experiments themselves and found the same results, which is science, rather than, kooky stuff like ClimateGate where, depending on what time you wake up and you put a 0 in here or 1 there. So I disagree with the guy because he doesn't name the perpetrators of it. But his part in it is the science. They removed him from teaching. Do too much damage. He's put the work out. It's for other people. I haven't seen many debunks of his work, Joe. They went after his character and they called him a pedophile and they call him this and that. But that's the usual nonsense they come up with, and nothing stuck to him. I haven't read a bad word about him. I read people writing bad about him, yes, but nothing that stuck.
But what is do you believe that exotic weaponry was used on 9/11? I'm not talking about the Judy Woods Hutchison effect or anything.
I believe they have exotic software and hardware, Joe, that's 20 years ahead of what we have now. I'm not talking about Windows 7, which is another complete run out of Herzliya. I mean, it's an absolute crap system, and I've been using it more and more, and it's complete crap, and people should still avoid it. But I don't, Joe. There's certain things that you have to put to one side that don't make sense, and it's time wasting. Even going into Jones put out his stuff. Come on. We need scientists. We even forget about Stephen Jones. How about the 1,000 AE 9/11 architects and engineers now? 1,000 of them that have signed a document saying, that didn't work. It couldn't have happened like that. Joe, the science didn't work.